Hello and welcome to the Rambling Hour. I'm Yandalf.
And I'm wet and dirty.
Oh, really?
Today we're wet and dirty. This is a Tomb Raider that got wet and dirty. I'm Dox!
Yeah. And today we have a special guest with us. One of my very old friends. Shall we go with Panda?
Fine by me.
Okay, say hi to Panda. Say hi to the listeners.
Hi everybody, I'm Panda.
Oh, do I play with manual grab? Do I hurt myself or not?
Hurting yourself is funnier.
Always hurt yourself, because my Lara always hurts herself. So.
Yeah, so you've mostly played the current reboot of Tomb Raider, haven't you?
Yes, like the first one of the new ones I played fully, I think, and then I'm somewhere in the middle with the second one.
And I mostly played the first reboot, which this is part of. The first reboot is Tomb Raider Legend, this Tomb Raider Anniversary, and Tomb Raider Underworld. And the Anniversary is a remake of the very first game. It has a lot of the same beats in the story. I'm glad I found the subtitles. I couldn't find the subtitles.
Okay.
Nobody can agree where they put the subtitles. Sometimes it's in gameplay. Sometimes it's in language.
Weird face.
She inherited her face from the first game.
Maybe because...
Okay, yeah, it's very low polygonal in the first game, but she has a strong fucking face as well.
The nose is not alright.
No, it's just so tiny.
Narrow.
Basically, just the space between her mouth and her eyes is too high.
Yeah. So they have to fill it in with a nose.
The excuse is that she's some sort of Atlantean goddess, king, queen thing from the past.
Spoilers?
Oh, come on. This game is like 10 years old now. Who cares?
Yeah, well,
And she actually gets more of a role in this version because they tried to fit it more in with what they were gonna do with Underworld. Like here she becomes a bigger villain that survives, whereas in the original she actually dies.
I've never fully played a Tomb Raider game.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make it to where it starts getting a bit weird.
Isn't
You
it
can
all
do
a
that
bit
in an
weird?
hour?
Well, there's dinosaurs in the first region,
Okay.
so maybe I'll make it to
Lara,
dinosaurs.
aren't you freezing?
She's freezing.
Yeah, but you don't see it fully that she's freezing though.
Yeah, no.
She
I'm
don't
missing.
care.
I'm missing some pokies.
Of course not.
But it also starts in a snowy landscape.
This is great,
like,
she responds in English when this guy talked to her in like, I don't know, some sort of local language or Spanish.
and there's the swan jump now.
Yeah.
The swan jump, I swan jump everywhere.
Oh boy,
And
they
I'll-
really make you mash to...
And to go
Hurry up.
faster, yeah.
Okay.
That's only for... Well, actually, I don't need to mash as fast as I do, because it seems like she goes faster for a little duration before you need to push again.
Okay. So you're just impatient.
Yeah, I'm an impatient little shit.
Okay.
Well, I think that you and I have in common, because when I game I'm also impatient. That's why I can't usually play the older games, because I'm like, fuck this shit, no.
This is her period between I control like a shopping cart and not really. The original was really very much a step platformer, so she controlled like a shopping cart. It's like, come on, don't be difficult about rotations. Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, they said that it was all stuff that they still needed to figure out back then.
What are you doing?
I was in the wrong direction. Whee!
You just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no. That's the manual grab. I sometimes forget. You have to press a button to hold on. And that's something I think they implemented to sort of refer to the old games a bit more.
Maybe. On one hand, I understand why people don't do that, because, yeah, it's more manual work, but on the other hand, it makes platforming a little more interesting, and I think, for example, Assassin's Creed would be better with a system like that.
You think?
And what do you mean exactly? Because, you know, for the listeners, I don't know shit about games.
Well, she needs to manually press a button when she's jumping to a platform to grab onto it.
And keep holding on. Have to hold on to the button. Like, it's sort of like you're grabbing with one hand.
Okay, I am happy that in Assassin's Creed, the game that I play a lot, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, and I understand that there's something for it. Assassin's Creed is all about that ease of movement. I understand that, but it takes away some of the challenge of the game, unfortunately.
No, but for some, the challenge is big enough already.
That's true. That's true.
That's why you make it options like here. The manual grab is optional.
Maybe it should be an optional.
I played the absolute shit out of this game 10 years ago. Now I want a bit more of a challenge. I put on manual grab.
Fair enough.
I've been playing it like that for the last 2 days.
And you've been cursing a lot. Well, I've been cursing at Fallout, which I've finally beaten.
Congratulations. What do you think of the master?
I would find it a great piece, if not for the fact that there are dice rolls in the speech check system. It's not merely a matter of, you know, just passing a statistic. It's actually role-based, which people seem to either have forgotten or just don't talk about because they want to show off that the more modern Fallouts, like Fallout 3, which do rolls, are inferior, which they might still be in other ways, but the dialogue system, not really one of the ways.
I don't like it that they show the rolls in Bethesda ones.
That's fair. That's fair. But on the other hand, right now, through this entire playthrough, now I played with a very low charisma character. I played with a character that was mostly perceptive and intelligent, but not very strong and not very charismatic. To say that I basically put 2 in each of those stats, which is ridiculously low. I really saw just how random the dialogue system could be and how much it relied on...
Good job, Lara.
Just hanging there, 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah. How much it relied on the charisma and speech stats, and it's not great. It's not great, especially because all the time I somehow, because I was a pretty lucky character, I could just, you know, kind of pass through it without noticing anything wrong. But then suddenly with the master, I spent an hour long just retrying that conversation, trying to get through all the rolls lucky. I must admit, to my shame, I caved, and I downloaded a save editor and just buffed my charisma to maximum because I was not gonna have anything. After that, just try it one more time, and I immediately got the speech correct.
And again, I have no effing clue what we're talking about.
The game randomly decided whether you convinced the character of something.
Yeah.
And convincing a character of something is good.
Because that character was about to genocide humanity, what was left.
Yeah, that's maybe not a good thing.
So, you know, you either have to defeat him, which is ridiculously hard, even after me having some pretty good equipment and being capable with it.
I want
the shiny thing.
Yes.
I want the shiny thing.
What do you unlock? Extra costumes for Lara or something? That was really popular in games back then. Here we have extra outfit for characters.
If you find some of the... Well, these are called relics or artifacts. I can't keep them apart. One is relics and the other is artifacts, but that means the same thing to me. There's one small one and there's a big one.
To me it means the same as well, and I'm very certain that Indiana Jones or someone like that is now groaning at us.
Yeah. Hi, Indiana Jones.
Whippersnappers.
I think a relic has more of a religious background to it, and an artifact not necessarily, but I'm not sure.
That could be.
Yeah.
That could be, yeah.
A relic, like the Dutch word at least, that's only when it's religious context.
Yeah, yeah.
And an artifact, I think, when Laura finds something that has nothing to do with any religion, I think you could see it as more an artifact. But then again,
learn something any day.
It basically means the small things and the big things in this game.
There was another one floating there.
Yeah, but it's hard to reach and I don't know how.
And you can't fly?
But what if that had Lara in a bikini?
I don't know. This one does not have a bikini outfit.
Okay.
But do we want less clothing on her? Because we're already cold.
Yeah. Yeah. But she didn't seem to mind, so I guess even
She's
less...
such a badass. She's basically made out of iron. Case in point.
She's made out of what?
Iron.
Ah, iron.
I can basically swan dive face first into the floor and she doesn't make a problem out of it.
We didn't take a look how late it was when we started playing.
Uh-oh. Just let's say that we're busy for 15 minutes and take a look at my phone now.
I don't think we're busy with 15 minutes yet.
Well, it will say at the end of the level how long I've been going at it. Yeah, my phone is off. Pick a different thing. Oh god.
Ah, where are all the phones?
Where are all the phones?
Yeah, my phone is somewhere else.
We need to find timing.
Do you really time it and stop talking at 60 minutes?
No, we always go over. The goal is an hour, we always go over.
It's now 40 past 3, 22:4. It's the reverse 420. Don't blaze it yet, kids.
What?
That's just no.
I know.
That was a failed attempt.
Well,
we're not.
haven't you been listening to our podcast? It's always a failed attempt here. We're not cool.
We're the uncool kids. We play old games that nobody wants to play anymore.
Yeah.
Okay,
Me
I hope I
neither.
don't get.
I mean like that. Yeah, the other time you were very lucky with that. You just jump and you crawl. And
Jesus.
What? How do you do that?
Well, she did get hit.
I got hit the last time.
She lost some health at the very end.
But it seems that the clue in this game is almost always if you keep going, you might always make it.
Just, you know why I didn't think she was hit? Because I didn't see any blood. I'm used to see blood when my characters die or get hit by.
Well, your Lara is in a snuff porn.
my Lara is in a what now?
A snuff porn.
Snuff porn?
Because she gets like hit really badly by all sorts of stuff. It's kind of gruesome to watch.
Not just hit, she gets fucking impaled and everything is like, yeesh.
And always a nice noises like, I can't even do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she just screams and is like grabbing onto the thing that's in her throat.
Yeah.
And then people have trouble with Mortal Kombat, but Tomb Raider is great.
I wonder if nobody felt really bad finding reference for that shit.
Nah.
I think that's like, I couldn't have played any of those bloody games when I was like, let's say 5 years ago even.
Yeah.
Because I had to get used to the blood, people. I'm just a poor little panda.
It's so perfect.
Yes. I'm innocent. But
So
now,
very innocent.
But now I kill everything that comes on my path.
Get out of my way!
Especially what?
Especially in Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch is just die everybody.
Yeah.
Not that I'm Reaper, but still. Die!
Yeah. It's kind of funny. You're the support player usually, but well, it's still, you know, Moira the vampire.
Yeah, I'm Moira who's versatile enough to both kill you or heal you. Or I'm Junkrat who just blows everybody and everything up.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have gotten more of the health packs. If I die to the bear that's behind the door, I'm fine.
Have we seen any more health packs then?
Yeah, I've skipped about every single one of them.
Oh, okay.
Except for 2.
Yeah, I was just about to say I saw you take like 2.
And now used 1.
I'm going back for a very specific reason.
Okay.
Opening the door made something accessible. I remember this one from back in the
And
day.
how do you know that?
Because I remember it!
But how do you remember it?
Okay, that wasn't good.
No?
No. I need to do it when it's on the turn still.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah. No, my game in this style when I was younger was the Prince of Persia series.
Ah, yes.
I've played the heck out of that one too.
Mm-hmm.
But you've played the very first one and then tried to imitate it with code.
Yep. Oh,
And
boy,
then you learned that it's really hard to do.
Yeah. Especially because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I haven't known what I was doing with code for a very long time. I probably could do it pretty okay nowadays.
Now the question is, how do I get down?
Without doing a nosedive?
Okay, no.
And now you're almost
nosedive it is.
I'm gonna die with the bear. But here's the level end.
Oh.
Ta-da!
I played 10 minutes.
You did it in 10 minutes. Okay.
Wow, that's quick.
So if you look now and then add 50, then you are at the hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So we start playing at about half.
Wee-hoo.
Such enthusiasm.
Press R mouse to lock onto enemies, but R mouse is Are you gonna die?
Yes! I know this! Because I was playing it the other day. Tutorials! Sometimes I get in the way.
You got the bear though.
Yeah, I was thinking I was gonna die to the bear.
It keeps so funny, like, spread your arms and jump.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it when she speeds up on the pillars. It's kind of funny how she goes like a frog.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, Pixar has released a trailer for their newest movie that's going to come out soon. That is not Toy Story 4.
That is the one news bit that we actually looked up.
Yeah, yeah. We've have we all watched it? I know that you, Panda.
I've also watched it.
Okay.
While you were out getting the thingamajig.
Okay.
Why are the unicorns sounding like donkeys?
Why are the unicorns so dirty?
Yeah. So, for the people who aren't in the know, Pixar is coming up with a new movie called Onward, which...
I had already forgotten the name, to be honest. It's kind of generic.
It is kind of generic, yeah.
Can you copyright just that name?
Oh, well, there's a question. Oh, there's a second there. Oh boy. So, Onward, which seems to be a fantasy world in, you know, regular, everyday, modern life kind of story. Well, story is a big word because the trailer didn't really clue anyone in what the story is about. Just showed the characters and the world, which I am feeling very mixed about it because it feels more like a DreamWorks movie if you look at the trailer.
DreamWorks is winning with its jokes for dad.
Yeah, it's very.
Look,
hey,
it's a mudfish.
We're making contemporary pop culture jokes, although it's not as pronounced as DreamWorks does it, with a lot of kind of simple visual gags that aren't really gags.
Uh-oh.
Are you gonna die?
Uh-oh. This is maybe a little too close.
There we go. There we go. No reason to panic.
I just missed the storyline in that trailer. I have no clue what's about it.
It just seems like there's one guy who's very dreamy and then there's a schmuck who has to go somewhere with a dreamy person.
Yeah. And just the world in general didn't really feel all that creative either.
Yourself.
No. I'm gonna count on a checkpoint completely restoring my HP.
Okay. Still you're gonna die. Yes, the movie.
Yeah, so even in terms of the world itself, which is a fantasy world with, you know, modern urban with more modern urban lifestyle, it doesn't exactly feel all that original. It feels like a very...
It feels like Bright. That was the Will Smith fantasy movie from recently that went very much like, look, this is all an allegory for racism, but we do not explain anything.
Bright was this Netflix movie, which apparently was an adaptation of a comic book series, but I've never heard of it.
I think I know what you mean.
With an orc cop.
Yeah, I see that. I haven't seen the thing itself. But
well, the main problem with Bright was that it lacked world building for something that's like, and fantasy has been here forever, and now we're 2000 whatever, but we're not gonna explain how shit like the Alamo happened, the Atlantic slave trade, because they still do act like it's our world pretty much.
Or how movies like Shrek are socially acceptable and not, you know, horribly racist caricature movies. I mean, Will Smith makes a Shrek joke to an orc, and so it implies that Shrek exists in...
And the DreamWorks company exists in, and Disney exists, and that means that one guy left... Disney to make DreamWorks.
Yeah, Mr. Katzenberg. Yeah.
Oh my god, Katzenberg is real in this world.
Well, but more Shrek got made. Shrek, a movie that, you know, points at fairy tales with magic and such, which in the Bright world shouldn't be all that crazy because there is magic. There are fairy tale figures there.
There are so many movies today and nothing magical happens either, and that's this world. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's not an argument.
Would Shrek then be like a hard-boiled, like, road trip movie or something?
Potentially.
In that
the talking donkey. We're talking donkeys a thing in this one.
In Bright?
Yeah.
Not that I know, but who knows?
But it might be a more realistic movie, yeah?
Yeah.
Shrek has a realistic movie.
It's like how...
No donkey, okay. So what's replacing donkey in this magical world version of Shrek?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Talking about random.
Why Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Because I was thinking of Last Action Hero, where Arnold Schwarzenegger realizes that if he is not a movie character anymore, then Sylvester Stallone becomes a Terminator.
Okay.
That was a joke in Last Action Hero.
Was that really a joke in the Last Action Hero?
Yes, a joke of Last Action Hero. For those who don't know the plot, and I suppose that's you, Panda. Last Action Hero is a movie where a kid goes and watches a fictitious Schwarzenegger movie, though they're basically a microcosm of Schwarzenegger's regular stuff.
Yeah.
And through magical means, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out of the movie, and because of some other stuff, you know, it's as if Schwarzenegger never was a movie star to begin with. So then they walk into a blockbuster.
Checkpoint, you say?
Into a blockbuster or something like that. Okay.
Checkpoint. My HP is gonna be full.
Look. And she still dived off.
Yeah.
Look, my HP is full.
And she jumps off. She looks so happy. Look at that. So happy.
Whee! I'm raiding the tombs!
So anyway, they walk into...
This is actually relatively hard to keep input. Because I have to keep sliding my thumb over the A and B button.
Your thumb?
Yes, my thumb.
Your thumb, you mean?
Yes.
Your thumb.
Tut-thumping?
I'm confusion. Okay.
So yeah, they walk into a blockbuster and they see like one of those cardboard cutout pop-ups for Terminator, but instead of Schwarzenegger standing on there, it's Sylvester Stallone. Which is a cute joke. It's a cute joke.
You know, I just hear a lot of those very manly man names now, and I'm already off focus. My focus there, you know.
Okay, tell us about the very, very butch ladies of your life.
The very butch ladies of my life?
You love butch ladies, right?
I love some butch ladies, yes. But like, Lara is like a very soft butch. Like, not this Lara, but my Lara is.
I know your Lara is very different from the Lara I'm used to.
She's a soft butch. Like, and I like it. And as well, like, even though the movie storyline was whatever, like,
alright, there was a movie of
Alicia Vikander as Lara is. Oh, I like her more than
making good time. We'll make it to the dinosaur.
Yeah, keep going.
Awesome.
we want the dinosaur.
You like her more than Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, because Angelina Jolie, I always liked her. Like, I'm not against her. I'm just not that attracted to her. Whilst Alicia Vikander, yes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
I love this in combat. I fell in the water.
And they just...
Well, what do we do now? Oh, look. Wow. Someone's cheesing it.
Cheesing?
Oh, yeah. The AI is a bit crap on enemies. There's a reason why there's not a lot of combat in this.
She's abusing the AI.
Well, that's a thingy.
Yeah, it's a thingy indeed. Yeah. To me, though, the new Lara Croft just looks a little too much like Ellen Page.
Oh no. Alicia Vikander and Ellen Page are not
well,
the same.
I'm not saying Alicia Vikander, but the game new Lara Crofts. She has this very down to earth. I'm just a regular girl who could live next door with brown hair. You know, nothing really stands out.
I'm telling you, Ellen Page is not that though. But anyway.
It's also partially because the remake, the reboot, more like.
Which reminds me, I should still show you Hard Candy. I love showing that movie to men because then they get kind of awkward halfway through.
Okay. No, but the Tomb Raider reboot came out during this period where suddenly there were a lot of female characters in video games that looked like Ellen Page.
Some
of them actually
but
also...
some of them were Ellen Page.
Yeah, some of them were Ellen Page, but some weren't. And they still looked a lot like her.
Hey, remember that time David Cage made a nude model of Ellen Page and she was really mad at him?
Yeah.
She was right though. She told him not to and then he did anyway.
Dick move, David Cage. Dick move.
Who's David Cage?
David Cage is a game creator who makes these very story-driven games. And well, he's made.
She featured in one of his games.
Okay. Yeah, she featured in. Was it? No, it was Beyond
Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just makes these story games, but he has a little bit of a reputation of being a bit of a hack. And well,
some people like his games.
On the outset, he tries to present himself as this, I made the kind of games that get buffed on nominations and such. Okay. And I want to make games that tackle serious topics, and I'm honestly all for that, but when you then look at the bones of his games, it's like, yeah, okay, you tackle serious or potentially serious topics and allegories.
But then you kind of treat it with people that don't really exist.
Well, not only that, you kind of, handle it with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. So...
Ask me what it means!
Yeah. He's gotten a little controversial last year as well when the Ellen Page nude model thing came up, and also some allegations that he is not too nice to his staff in many different ways. So
apparently there were like people like photoshopping colleagues onto like Nazi pictures and gay porn pictures.
Yeah.
That's two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. It's like, what? What? Who does this? Who has the time on a game job for this anyway?
Yeah, I wonder that as well.
Can you jump in the water?
Was she screaming?
Yeah, she was screaming.
What?
Yeah, like right at the end when she realized like, oh, this is kind of far. Ah!
Don't choke. And there we go.
Come on, get on it.
Keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Get on it.
We need more of these health packs. Whoa, that went weird for a second.
the game has been going weird a lot. I even had an out of bounds recently, so I think the official is... I keep breaking this game somehow.
Yeah, but anyway, when come back that you have a lot of characters that look the same, isn't it like... The problem you have as well sometimes with the men in games, that you work with a model and standardized model, and that sometimes creators seem to be rather lazy in making them distinctly looking differently.
Well,
or what do you think the reason is
the
behind
thing is,
that?
there isn't really a standardized model between companies. That's not a... Oh, whoa.
Oops, I messed up.
Yeah, the
I didn't hear them coming.
The microphone was in front of the screen there, so I only saw the wolves jumping up at you when you were already on the ladder, and it's like, whoa, what's that?
I thought I'd seen them before, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't say anything. I'm a bad friend, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I should have remembered that this game always spawns things back whenever you've been to another spot and did a thing.
So, to revert back to the standard model thing, there's definitely nothing like that between companies. Companies are incredibly defensive of their own assets.
Okay.
So, company-wide, and definitely per project there might be a few standard models that get varied upon. But those usually are reserved only for, background characters and extras. That's how you quickly make, for example, crowds in Assassin's Creed. You make a male and a female model, and you make some variations on that. But that's not the same model that you use to start modeling Ezio, for example.
Yeah, and then is it then it's more a cultural thing where they all come to the same conclusion as, oh, we want a strong woman, so it must be a brunette looking not too sexy or too attractive. It has to look a bit like the girl next door. Stuff like that, they all came to the same conclusion. So that's
can't there be a femme fatale redhead lady that's very strong and butch?
Please, tell me, give me that.
It might very well have been partially a cultural zeitgeist thing, especially during those times. Anita Sarkeesian's videos were kind of becoming hot back then, so...
They were new.
They were new, but they were, they were at the forefront of the discussion.
I broke the game again.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
They were at the forefront of discussion back then. Love them or hate them, you can't deny that, people were talking about them.
I honestly think she didn't help diversity.
Okay.
Because she focused too much on the negative. Like, all that ever came out of her mouth was not this and not that and not and nah. Whereas I'm like, sure, you can have the thing you have now, but can we also do this or that or whatever else?
It's always a problem with stuff like that. I've never really seen any other videos, but like it's always a problem with when feminists talk, that it's an individual interpretation of feminism for starters. That's always a thing, and then it's also always people are usually uncomfortable when something new is brought up that we are never thought of before of it being a bad thing, and like everybody hating so much on somebody like that saying stuff you maybe don't really want to hear it's normal, but as long as you don't completely go like no, don't die.
I jumped a bit too late.
I think that was suicide there.
No, that was an accident.
They're talking about my reboot character.
Excuse you. Yeah, you're going to be like exchanged by Alicia Vikander. You're just lazy now. No.
I actually forgot that I had to go via the side. That's what was happening.
Well,
yeah, that's a good point you're raising there. Another theory that people were having back then is that the average age of the video game developers is slowly starting to rise, with individual developers staying longer within the industry, so we don't have as much of a high turnover rate anymore as we used to have, say, 10 years ago. It's still ridiculously high. The average game development career in the AAA studio is still...
a tail like that.
Yeah.
is still 4 or 5 years, which is not a lot.
I'm almost at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. You were with 2 full productions and you are almost at 4 years now.
Yeah.
That is not a lot. But anyway, so there are starting to be more older game devs now.
So they make games for Dad.
Yeah, that is also one of the reasons why people are now surprised that, hey, God of War is no longer this power trip of an angry dude, but instead it's the story of a guy who tries to protect his son, and he has difficulties connecting with it. And
okay, I'm gonna do this a little.
In the last few years, we've heard the term "dad game" come up a few times. Recently, there's also another game released called Days Gone, which is a zombie survival game where it's just you in the American wilderness with a motorcycle.
Come be my friend.
with a motorcycle and some old, some old rock music here and there. So you can already imagine it's something that easily gets clumped together with the whole, it's the dad crowd that likes this kind of stuff.
Isn't it like a dangerous movement to go into that direction, because then maybe you won't get the young players attention anymore, and your audience will gradually get older and older as well, and at some point the gaming industry will disappear because we will all die.
Well, maybe, but on the other hand, Fortnite still happened.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whenever I tell them kids, oh, I game, yes, I'm a teacher, I'm a cool teacher, I game, and then, oh, you played Fortnite, and I have to say, no, because all you little fuckers play it, so I don't want to play with y'all.
Imagine how much of a hell Overwatch was before Fortnite became this big. Yeah.
I kind of feel like I slightly felt it. Did you just die again?
Yes.
You might have still.
At the very beginning.
At the beginning, yes.
It was still very.
I think I'm back at the bear. I'm back at the bear.
Oh my god.
Oh no, I'm not back at the bear.
You're not back at the bear?
So I mean, you're kind of right. On the other hand, I would say, just making new kinds of experiences for a new public is never a bad thing.
No, definitely. And I think people keep forgetting that the biggest group of gamers is like 20s and 30s years old and not 15-year-old.
Yeah, that is a recent thing though.
And they don't make games for couples. That frustrates me.
Well, that's why you two can bring in a change. You two can make a couple's game, as you are a couple of game makers,
or at least trying to be.
Mount and Blade was made like that by a couple.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not really a couple's game.
Do you think you could do like work together on one big project?
On a big
we'd have to make sure it's on our size. Ow.
Yeah.
Size?
Yeah, scope-wise. That we don't...
Look, dinosaurs!
Oh crap! What is this, Monster Hunter?
Now it is.
Cool.
Like, is it dinosaurs that never got extinct because we're in the middle of a mountain or something?
Probably
we're in the middle of
like
Peru,
that.
that's why. Apparently.
Probably something like that. They somehow never had to experience the fallout of the meteorites.
I don't really know where it fell, do you?
The Gulf of New Mexico.
Oh, so
that's fucking close to here!
Yeah, indeed. Not New Mexico, just Mexico.
Just Mexico.
The Gulf of Mexico.
Like, is that why there's so much water?
Well, I've never have read anyone outright stating that, but it is what I believe. It has a very crater-like shape, doesn't it?
Yeah. Huh. I'm gonna read up on that. I like that. I never thought of it. I never looked it up, but now that we mentioned it, I'm like, oh.
I could never find it, but it is a believable idea.
Is she not gonna like fall in love with them?
I know, something's wrong.
She's gonna do a Chris Pratt. She's gonna be like, no, you guys.
It's a T-Rex!
I guess you can't. Yeah, you can't win of that one. Yeah. Run, Lara, run!
It's quick time events!
I have to say, her scared face is kind of dopey.
All of the deaths are pretty silly whenever the quick times fail.
Can't you show one?
I have to fight him now. There's more quick times once I've beat him.
Okay.
That's kind of mean that they make you start with your back towards him.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
Wait, there's a rage system?
Yeah. It's there for a reason.
Please don't die.
I'm sure she just did that. Come on, just do the thing. Oh no, this is not gonna work like that. Ah.
What thing do you want to do?
I need to enrage him and put him into the spiky things.
Okay. And how are you going to do that?
Like this.
Well, that red bar fills up when you shoot him.
And then he does this.
Oh.
There's really not enough space for this. Okay, perfect. Come on, way.
Danger, danger.
Apparently that was a headshot.
Okay.
Well, he has a giant head, so it's not hard to have a headshot.
I wonder if with a dinosaur, a 9mm bullet to the skull would do all that much, because they did have pretty thick skulls, no?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wrong one. Oops.
I'm just gonna lay down there and do a quick nap. Power nap.
Well, Lara needs her beauty sleep, I guess. It takes a lot of effort to keep looking that good, even if you're constantly moving and tomb braiding and jumping around.
I think that the tiredness is coming from all the moving rather than the beauty standards.
Yeah.
She's appalling.
Okay, now I'm gonna die.
Ah.
For the silliness of it.
For the what did I
For the silliness of it.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one. What happens with the first one? This is gonna be tedious as shit.
And up. Yeah.
Whee!
And is she also making noises now?
Yeah, she's screaming.
Okay.
Ah!
Okay. Well, there was no blood whatsoever.
I know.
Which
this is a very bloodless game.
That makes it totally not realistic. It's not a dinosaur, it's the lack of blood.
It's not a dinosaur. Okay, next death.
No ma- Stop dying!
Look at that!
Ooh, that's gotta have hurt though.
Oh yeah.
Well, not like getting eaten.
Yeah, I was just
hurt.
gonna say, don't you think getting swallowed by a dinosaur?
Well, getting swallowed whole might not hurt that much. It's the
I think
teeth
there's a
that
lot
I'm
of
worried about.
Yeah, but also like a lot of mental hurt when you're being swallowed and are still alive.
Yeah, probably. Ah,
Did you-
straight in the eye.
Ah, Lara is good.
She's very good still.
I still find it ridiculous that he's still on his legs.
Because she's still standing.
Yeah, but you'd think
I'm
that just his
guessing that they
entire
couldn't
lower-
really pull it off that well with the bones or something, because it's already looking kind of silly because it's very squashed at the ankles.
Mm.
Yeah, the game designers are looking at it.
Maybe the game designers did things for reasons.
It's another shiny thing.
Yay.
Do I now die? I don't remember.
What, didn't you play this like 2 weeks ago? 2
days ago, yeah. I was like, wait, what was it again? Do I just dive now?
Looks like it.
Yep.
Just don't die. No, you don't die. Now the rabbit, no, the frog.
And now I'm wet. The froggy. Quack, quack.
Ribbit.
Oh, what's there? I haven't been there last time.
There's nothing there.
Oh, there's nothing there. So
You
disappointed.
fooled us, game.
There's something there on the left.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh. We made it.
congratulations.
Hey, there was a Blinky there.
A Blinky health packs. In my main save, because I actually bothered to explore in that one, I have so many health packs I never have to worry about combat.
That's nice. That was a swan dive again.
Yep. Ah! Oh, I forgot something on the floor. Maybe I should go get it. Swan dive! She doesn't survive this height. That I do know.
That's what I like with like a game like Assassin's Creed. At some point you can get a skill where you can jump off like an enormous height and still not die.
I found that weird in no, not Origins, Odyssey. They're basically the same game. But
yeah, it's the same type of game, but it's a different story.
Yeah.
Totally different story.
Look at the tiling. Repeating textures all over the mountains.
Yeah. I was looking a bit more at the pillar in the foreground, and it's like, well, tiling is not too noticeable there.
But anyway, I do like it because I am a clumsy gamer, and I remember when I tried to play, for example, Prince of Persia, that I kept dying because I kept falling off stuff, and that got me so frustrated, and that's why I never bothered to go very far in a game like that, because you have to keep
rewind time.
But if I can't get over something, that it has no use to me whatsoever, being able to rewind time because I want to go forward. Yeah, maybe I'm just a lazy gamer.
Maybe you are.
Maybe I am.
Maybe you should join Lazy Game Reviews. Shout out to LGR.
It sounds like I might not want to do that.
Oh, he's a pretty cool YouTuber. Just a guy who
if you're not into retro games, it's not gonna be your thing.
Yeah, he reviews old games and old hardware. Some pretty interesting videos about like, yeah, people used to like save their data using these things which basically work like external hard drives, but they're super finicky, and what were we thinking? But hey, that's old technology.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not really my thing though.
Yeah, it's fun though.
I can imagine if it is your thing that you like such a thing.
And he also just sounds really smooth and relaxed.
And he likes him imitating Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on here? You hardly see what's happening. Wow, some tricks there.
Yep.
If you don't know where you're going, you're
Think
fucked.
quick.
Think quick! Press the jump button in time. Not too early.
That's what I still find sad about the last Prince of Persia game that they made, the Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. Even this level of platforming was never in the game until the very last tower.
Yeah.
Which then was really tricky and really fun to play through, but until then
I
it was
have to admit
super
something.
lazy.
The very last climb in the game, when I was younger, I haven't made it back there yet, so I can't make a statement about that. I never managed to do it without the sort of speedrunny skip that there was there.
You mean in this game? Or?
Yeah, in this game.
Okay.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I guess don't go down because it doesn't look good.
That looks wrong. That looks wrong.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
Ah, but you're...
Yeah,
Oh,
right
yeah,
back at the room again.
That's practical.
Oh yeah, now I'm in the right direction.
This room looks a bit... Oh.
A bit too far, Lara! You dumb cow! Can you not jump as far?
Honey, be nice to the 90s sex icon.
Please don't.
Well,
that's basically how she was treated in the media in general.
But it was special at the time.
I
At the time that never happened, really.
Well, keep in mind that, well, she was pretty much the first really actiony female character in a video game.
Okay.
Like, there were female characters and even female protagonists in video games before, but this was the, you know, this was the female Indiana Jones, you know?
Yeah.
This was not the librarian who is trying to solve a murder mystery. This was the chick who went out there and
I think the bear despawned.
did adventure stuff.
Yeah.
And, well, combine that with her looks, even for the times.
Yeah, I keep being like this person who's not attracted to big boobs like that. Like, that's...
Her boobs are doable.
Yeah,
and also I also find the argument kind of bad for the original model because they had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles to work with.
Yeah, for her entire.
How do you make boobs
area
with 6 triangles? Good luck, guys.
They could have started with making them a bit smaller, maybe, then it wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah.
Then there was no point to making the triangles. Then she might as well have been a dude.
Well, you have
at
more
least
characteristics.
How much you needed to be
you
able
have
to.
more characteristics to like what we would call then a female body than the boobs is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why Yahtzee talks about pushing her into the corner to stare at her big juicy thighs.
No, but I still find the funniest is that in the really old games, her breast size was super inconsistent.
Yeah, it went up and down a lot.
Inconsistent, like the one bigger than the
No,
other?
as in each game she had a different cup size.
Okay. Well.
Like in one of them they were pretty doable, and then in another it was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
So,
Kind of distracts from the thing, I feel.
yeah. I believe there was even one Playboy magazine where they made a nude model for her and posted her on the cover.
That was weird though.
Yeah.
Especially in the 90s.
Don't forget they also did that with the female main character in the Final Fantasy movie.
They also did that with Blood Rain and a Mortal Kombat character. I can't remember if it was Kitana or Melina.
Purple or blue?
I think purple.
Then it was Melina, which, wow, with those teeth?
I think we have done enough time.
Have we?
This took me 40 minutes, previous level took me 18 minutes.
Unless it adds up.
It can be.
Yeah, no, it adds up because
okay.
we're still 15 minutes.
Oh, okay, then the second level took me 8 minutes, wow.
Yeah, you went pretty fast. And this one took you 20 minutes.
Amazing.
You earlier just said like, oh, we might only just make it to the dinosaurs, but you were there rather quick.
Yeah. It took me longer last time.
Look at you go.
But are you like a bit...
Oh, I messed it up.
Are
Forgot the button.
Are you speedrunning a bit or like?
A little bit. But like, this game almost got me into speedrunning, but I never genuinely speedrun anything.
Yeah. If she was really speedrunning, she would probably be using weird little tricks with like, yeah, if I jump on that little block there, which you're not supposed to be able to go, then I can basically walk over this collision mesh and somehow end up in this place, and then I go out of bounds and teleport to the next level.
So real quick play stuff is like... Speedrunning is like that you just really want to go through it as fast. Not do anything what you have to do, just go through
it. It depends a bit from game to game and from run to run, because there are some games, for example, that you can't really exploit.
She just dived very funnily.
Yeah. There are games that you can't really exploit, for example. Like, I saw a recent speedrun. Well, not a recent speedrun, but recently I saw a speedrun of the original Fallout, which was played in 8 minutes. That's a 30-hour game, just in 8 minutes there.
Okay.
But they didn't really do all that much in terms of exploits. All they did was they immediately went to the final destinations that you have to go to.
Okay.
And then used a small exploit that allows them to walk past enemies during combat without triggering their hostility. And that's it. That's all they did. So no real big bugs or anything that they did there. Just knowing where they need to go and knowing how the combat system works.
What's the fun of it? Is it like just to be the fastest one?
Yeah. And then and also sort of break games. I like it when they sort of break games, like when they really find things that they just missed in the programming.
Yeah, because it sometimes gives you a couple of hints about how the game just works on a basic level, how they made things work. And then you realize games are just held together by, you know, glue.
Well, I imagine so.
By glue, 2 hairbands and a little stick.
Definitely the 2 hairbands.
Yeah.
You need those hairbands.
Well, you're the professionals.
There you go, dear viewer. If you ever want to make a game, just get hairbands. Ask your sister if you don't have them.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, yeah. Speedrunning can be pretty neat to watch. Tox is a big fan of watching them during AGDQ and SGDQ. Personally, I'm more of like occasionally a game that I like. Oh, someone has done a speedrun of it. I kind of want to see how they do it. It's also very neat if they play a game that you have difficulty with and you see them just destroying it, and it's like, oh, that feels good.
It can be finished.
Yeah, I like to look up. Like if for example Assassin's Creed, I really don't know how to do something, then I like to look it up, but it's never a speedrun, I think. That's just how to do it.
Yeah, that's how to do it. But speedrunners, there's also people who just strictly go, we do not use exploits, we only optimize the way we play the game to the nanosecond, basically. And it's like, oh yeah, we don't need to do this in order to complete the game, then we don't do that. We find a way to run past it as fast as possible. And these specific problems that slow progress, usually, we circumvent them by using these tactics. That's how speedrunners generally go about it.
Well, Pack's in the way, that's perfect.
And again, you were successful in avoiding the projectiles.
Here's more.
Oh.
That one gotcha.
Well, but you do have health packs now.
Yeah, now I'm slowly building up a reserve.
Just keep going.
This one here you got through without anything.
No, that's too far.
And it's almost... Yeah, you have that one, sometimes you jump and you just know, okay, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Grappling hook, honey.
Yeah.
There's the frog again.
Yeah.
Froggy frog.
Yeah, what I also miss are like muscled up arms. Like when you do shit like this and you can do shit
I
like
don't
that.
think they had enough polygons yet for this game.
And normal maps were still pretty new and experimental.
They were
as
so
well.
new that in Tomb Raider Legend they put like the veins on the arms of a guy and it looked really silly. It's like, why did you do that? Actually, that was dumb.
I remember when in Dead or Alive they figured out how to make veins on people's arms appear, and they did that with Jan Lee, and that looked so crazy cool and realistic. And now it's like, wow, these guys look so weird.
The swan dive is perfect for getting through nearly everything.
Apparemment. But like, yeah, I like.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I dislike.
That was a
about,
close one.
Yeah. It's one of those things I dislike about women usually made like this when they don't have the muscles for what the actions they're doing. I find that. I mean, we're doing so much about realistic stuff. Like, at least give them muscles as well. If a woman does that, she has muscles. Hello.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen athletes? I have.
They obviously haven't seen athletes. I've been collecting pictures of like wrestling women.
Yes. That's maybe a bit too much for me. I'm already rather happy with like tennis players for arms or football players for legs. Oh my god, their legs.
I can't watch weightlifters. Like, I definitely can't watch them in action.
Yeah, it hurts the back from watching it.
And I keep thinking they're gonna break their arms.
Yeah, I have it with men and women. Like, it just it hurts my back to watch it. Because I always fear like they're gonna indeed break. I have too much empathy, I feel it. And when they're like doing the almost pooing kind of faces and noises, I'm like, yes, same. But only when I'm on the toilet, not when I'm lifting like too much. I'm amazed by how you know where you have to go.
Well, there are a couple of tells in the game, like those very conspicuously bright blocks on the edges that go
they
like,
got better about that over time though, because there's a couple of like jumps where it's like, where do I go now? Where is the thing?
At least it's not like in Horizon Zero Dawn where they go like, yeah, we slathered yellow paint over them.
Wasn't that one white and wasn't it yellow in Uncharted and shit?
I thought it was yellow in Horizon as well.
I think Horizon was white, and in Uncharted it was always yellow, because Naughty Dog bloody loves its yellow. I do not like the Uncharted series, they're horrible, I hate it. Or just every time I die in that game, it's like, why wouldn't you let me die like properly, like in this Tomb Raider game where I can actually fall to the floor and ragdoll? No, you have to like put a invisible line in the world where as soon as Nathan hits it, he's just dead. It's like, but he fell like 3 centimeters. Why am I dead? Because we didn't want you to do the long way around. And he also can't swan dive, so...
very, very important.
He also needs to shoot a lot more. Mostly against humans who seek cover all the time.
The best things about those games is the train ride fight and the bit where he's like a kid and the villain from the 3rd game. There you go. That there ends my good talk about Uncharted. Everything else is horrible. I just don't like the series. It's just too cinematic. Like, let me explore. Let me
too much of a shooter.
Let me fail.
Let me swan dive.
Yes. Let me get crushed by walls.
And flowy things.
But at least Sullivan was a nice guy.
Yeah, the characters were way more interesting than the actual gameplay. Okay. I have no idea how I'm gonna make it back again.
If you have to.
I have to.
Oh.
Because the door is at the center. And then this one, guess what happens? Guess what happens?
Oh.
Yes, of course. Why are you shooting? I was gonna say, why are you shooting? Ah, yes, of course. Wolves.
Because every time the floor collapses, there are wolves at the bottom.
Lara, have you ever considered, you know, maybe opening a first door on the side? She's killing enough wildlife for it.
Yeah.
And you can even kind of say that it is not as unethical as regular fur because she doesn't kill them for sports and the clothes, but for self-defense.
Because they're very hungry because they've been stuck in this shitty temple for ages, and then suddenly a Lara comes by that looks very juicy and yummy.
A Lara. A wild Lara.
A wild Lara appears, let's eat her!
The animals aren't wild, Lara is wild. Ooh, that was a pretty one.
Whee!
Very much gymnastics. Those ones are also crazy athletes. Gymnasts.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Crazy.
There we go.
I think I have to do it all again now. Because I'm stuck at this point and...
Well, what about that stick over there?
Ah. I accidentally found the faster way. Yeah, the stick you couldn't reach because she doesn't really jump diagonally in this version.
Ah, okay.
She doesn't really? Where are we going? Oh.
There we're going.
Okay.
Whee! And now we have to get back. Bullets? Oh, I can't pick up the bullets anymore. How long have we been going? I have a feeling that
we're close to the hour mark now.
I can probably finish this level before that time unless I start dying a lot.
Yeah.
Which is always possible!
Which the dinos want.
All the traps as well, because I'm taking a lot of risks with it.
Yeah, let's not do risks. Right, what are you doing?
It's screaming at the bottom there like, I want to eat you!
And who was that?
It was a dinosaur at the bottom!
Ah, I didn't see.
It was like looking at that juicy bum. It's like,
quite dark actually, the game, I find.
Yeah.
It is relatively dark. This is not PBR rendering yet.
What does that mean?
It is not physically based rendering yet.
Physically based.
That's the newest style. So it's a different way of shading.
If you feel that new games look a lot more glittery and the light looks a lot better in them, that's because we now use a model that's...
Ooh, they look weird and strange.
Approximates physical lighting more than it
metal
used to.
finally looks more like metal rather than a weird plastic.
Okay.
Yeah. We're emulating light better, basically.
We understand the physics behind light better.
Well, we can run it in real time. That's the key thing.
I believe y'all.
Look, she's dirty. She has a stain at her forehead.
Wow.
Amazing.
You really had to point it out. Are they gonna come alive now? Yeah.
You predicted it, of course.
I knew it!
But that guy's not feeling so well. Maybe I should leave.
They're all gonna get alive.
At least she checked before she did anything.
That's just scary.
Hey, remember how we got here? Now we have to leave that way.
Oh, and now he comes alive. Yes. And now she's just like, I'm just gonna ignore this.
Of course.
Swan dive everywhere.
Of course. I have seen dead bodies come to life so often at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe I should donate one to science for once.
I like how in the movie it was like, well, in the games there's a lot of like fantasy, magical elements to it. In the movie it wasn't. Like, it's long believed that it was the storyline without spoilers, but like it eventually wasn't really a fantasy thing, so I found it very weird. Like, I had expected it to be, but they wanted it to be real, I guess.
Is there any fantasy elements in the new games though? Because it looks more like a
these
grim
take a
survival
right
story.
angle really quickly.
No,
though.
they are fantasy elements that I can remember from the first one.
Okay.
Like, it's been a while now that I played.
High sexual tension, the guy.
Is that his name? Okay.
It might as well be. It's his only function in the story, I guess.
No, his function in the story is actually double. Like, he has the sexual tension thing going on with her, and you might have noticed that we've only been killing animals, so Lara does not kill people by default. Near the end, she's forced to kill him.
Oh. Like,
and she feels really bad about it, and it feels very believable because we've only been killing animals so far.
but that's like this whole thing in the new games is that she's also like in the beginning not very happy. Wasn't it something you found bothering you? Like,
it was bothering me that there was a lot of people killing, and then they wanna put in the same story thread as this one, where they did it way better with the gameplay in this one. Because the gameplay in this one is kill animals, never humans. And then the story goes like, oh no, she had to kill a human. And it has more impact because it matches up more. There is no dissonance between what's happening in the game and what's happening in the cutscenes.
okay.
This is only one piece of the Skion.
And the joke is, it's the same company making this one and the new ones. So it's like, did you forget about making that remake and having all the animals and nothing but animals?
Makes no difference to me.
I guess
Probably already
you
found
might
his
be like,
piece.
oh, just ignore that.
Now that I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway, the new Lara is kind of a Rambo when it comes to killing scores and scores of bandit
Don't get me wrong,
camps.
in Legend and Underworld she kills a shit tons of humans as well. But this one specifically doesn't go there as much because it's emulating the original game.
Oh, she has a shotgun now.
Yes.
Now we can finally have a use for all that ammo.
That we kept finding.
But I suppose that we can probably call it a day here.
Oh yes we can. We totally can. See you next time, viewers.
See ya!
Auf Wiedersehen.